it was like an unheard news that Hope Uzodinma was declared the authentic governor of Imo State in preference to Emeka Ihedioha, who was returned as elected by the Independent Electoral Commission. By then, there were many permutations ranging from, as described by many as an error made by the Supreme Court, to many reactions, protests, and campaigns. After his swearing in, agitations persists from different quarters. International community links were being relied upon by those opposed to the court declaration of Uzodinma as governor. The stories were many, depending from who and angle it was or it is being presented even as of today. November 11, 2023, the game changed with Hope Uzodinma, the governorship candidate of APC, being declared winner of Imo November 11 governorship election. The dynamic story of the victory was the winning of the 27 local government areas of Imo State, which has not been done before. Though the Imo State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal is on to verify and certify if truly Governor Hope Uzodinma won the 27 local governments without manipulations. January 15 being Monday, the Hope Uzodinma will be sworn in as the governor of Imo State in the second tenure. No doubt his first term had mixed actions. There were loss of hopes and confidence by different groups. He made some incursion in infrastructural development despite many odds of insecurity. Now that he has weathered the storm, what do Imo people expect from him? What will he put on the table new to convince Imo residents that he is the people's governor? In the studio to draw an agenda for Governor Uzodinma's second coming and expectations is a man. Through him and his work, Imo people were able to know that Governor Uzodinma was working at the dark days, as it was being described. So, of the beginning of his first time, I'm talking about Ugochukwu, popularly known as Ugochukwu, Special Advisor, Public Enlightenment and Mobilization in Imo State. Ugochukwu, you're welcome to 60 Minutes Live.
Good morning, viewers. Glad to be here.
Yes, and Ugochukwu, the publisher of the Newspoint newspaper, will join us. But before then, let's continue. Yes, Ugochukwu, I painted the scenario of what it was about 4 years ago when Hope Uzodinma, the governor today, was declared the 20th governor of Imo State. And how can you really, in a nutshell, describe what it was and your role as it were to have let people know that Governor Uzodinma was working at that moment?
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I've listened to the scenario you've painted, and I think it's coming from your own perspective, and it's not all the views that you have captured. Only yesterday the Supreme Court made decisions on 7 governorship elections across the country. Some people went home jubilant, some people went home quietly, to rue their loss. So this is exactly what also happened as in Imo State in 2020 when His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodinma won at the Supreme Court. So it's a constitutional matter, and the provisions of the Electoral Act gave credence to people seeking for justice all the way to the Supreme Court, and winning or losing is part of our jurisprudence. So it's not something to engage on. It's just constitutional. He emerged through the legal processes, and today Imo State is happier for it.
Yes, 4 years down the rain, and now the governor won the November 11 governorship election in Imo State, and now being ready to be sworn in. How can you describe his 4-year term, first term in office?
It was a very testing period for the governor. It was also a very testing period for the people of Imo State, and indeed for the people of the Southeast and the country as a whole. We witnessed the COVID-19 immediately in 2020 when he got into power. After that, we also witnessed the issue of the NSAS insurrection. We also saw the emergence of the unknown gunmen across the Southeast, especially here in Imo State, where the Imo State Correctional Facility or the prisons was broken into, which culminated in the release of 1,800 or thereabout hardened prisoners unleashed into our society to cause mayhem. And the governor stood his ground, pushed them back, was able to deliver, on his 3-hour agenda of reconstruction, rehabilitation, and recovery. And in all these 3 indices, tremendous milestones were accomplished.
Okay, yes, that's there are other things there, yes, to show for it. That's a good one. So now by Monday, 15th of January, next tomorrow, you'll be given the mantle of staff of office to go into the second term.
Yep.
What are the preparations first and foremost?
Most importantly is the enthusiasm out there by Imo people who voted for him across the 27 local governments. So the power, the second term, the power is driven by the people themselves. In terms of preparations, the Dananyam Stadium is wearing a new look. The governor has made it clearly known that it is going to be a serene occasion, not to throw in more state resources around. So to that effect, it's only the event is only a 2-day event. On Sunday, the outing service, the pre-inauguration outing service at the Catholic church here in Owerri. Then on the 15th proper, you have the swearing-in ceremony at the Dananyam Stadium.
Okay.
So there are no pre-swearing-in ceremonies, no novelty matches, no lectures, none of those fanfares that might cut into state resources.
Okay, possibly are you just trying to tell us that he has queued into the reduction of what the president said that cut costs in governance? Could that be part of it?
He has already. His Excellency was able to achieve the quantum of works he did. He was able to in the first time because of his cutting measures. So if in terms of fiscal policies and financial management, he has been very, very wonderful, and that has enabled the state to achieve tremendous successes in all the sectors.
Okay, let's now go backwards a bit and project the future. The governor during his first tenure was able to make some incursions like the rehabilitation, the dredging of the Ugochukwu Lake plant where the study has been completed that will be able to possibly open up the roads, the waterways up to the nautical 10 or 100 miles into the Atlantic Ocean that will possibly energize economic activities in Imo State. Come next tenor from Monday, next tomorrow, that project, will he be on the front burner? Will he be part of his first work to do in order to make sure that he fulfilled, he opened up Imo for business?
The dredging of Ugochukwu Lake or Rashi River into the Atlantic remains a priority of the Imo State government under His Excellency Governor Hope Uzodinma as conceived. A lot of work has gone there already. All the environmental surveys, all the impact assessments has been completed. So the project remains at the front burner. It has not stopped. It's still ongoing, and it's a project that will not only have positive impact on the economic life of Imo State, but the entire Southeast, because we have been described as landlocked. We've been ferreting our goods and products from from the southwest and from even farther down from Cotonou and Lome and all that. So opening up our waterways into the Atlantic would be a welcome development for entrepreneurs and merchants of the entire southeast and even south to south. So it's a project that is dear to the heart of the government, and a lot is happening, and hopefully the project will be completed under the present tenure.
Okay, that will be it. I did this. Let me say this way. Insecurity nearly reduced his performance at the first tenure. Now that he's coming back, and possibly must have, since he's been there for 4 years, been able to understand the terrain. So what efforts, are there conscious efforts that's being made to ensure that Imo become back to a bouncing state of realization, tourism, marketing, commerce, and to come back to its normal glory?
The most important thing is to understand the different facets of the insecurity in Imo State. You have the prison outbreak that release hardened criminals into our society. You have the issue of the hijack of the agitation for Southeast. You also have the unknown gunmen who are criminals, masquerading as agitators. So all this culminated into what you have as the insecurity in Imo State. And to a very large extent, the governor has pushed back on this. Don't forget also that people also try to take political advantage of the insecurity in Imo State to benefit politically. But as you've noticed from what happened in our last Christmas and New Year, our people trooped back in their numbers, and there weren't any noticeable incident of insecurity in the state. So the state is working hard, and a lot has been achieved. Businesses are back, life is back in virtually in most parts of the state.
Okay, as we were speaking, as you were telling us how secured, how enjoyable Imo was within the festive period, to show and buttress the point that Imo was safe, and Imo is safe, and Imo will continue to be safe. The publisher of the Newspoint newspaper, the person of Lambert Ugochukwu, walked into the studio. He was supposed to be here with us at the beginning. So Mr. Lambert, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, possibly before I come back to you, so let me go back to Ugochukwu, because so that you'll be able to follow us. So Ugochukwu, yes, you have stated that, yes, that this time out there was this arrangement or alignment of called the Charter of Equity, which possibly is being attributed to the fact that that was what made the governor to win the 27 local government areas. Then the first tenure, he had no godfather. Will this, there's a school of thought that said these elders now will become the godfather, and possible will now be a weight on his governance and appointment of officers. Do you foresee that?
Well, the most important thing is to identify what led to the demand for the Charter of Equity, and it arose from the impression that power has resided, continue to reside in one of the zones, namely Oluson. So the elders, in their own wisdom, decided that that it would be a good thing to reintroduce the Imo Charter of Equity to so that the rotation of governorship power can go around the 3 senatorial zones, and I think it's something we all welcomed, and if here in the southeast we are agitating for the presidency of the country, it's equally important for us to appear to also represent that interest locally here, that to see that power shifts and move around to all the senatorial districts, so that everybody will benefit. It's something that will bring peace to a larger extent. It's something that will bring inclusion. It's something that will build up trust in the state. It's something that will equally, reduce the expenditure and the cost of vying for the office of the governor. So that's in the wisdom of the Imo elders. They've adopted the Charter of Equity, and which the governor has also approved of and has made commitments to its implementation. So it's a good thing.
Okay, having said that, let us go for a short break while we fully welcome the one of us who is to join us here. So can you go up for a break for a minute? We will be talking with Ugochukwu, the Newspoint publisher, after this time out.
Quality broadcast services, news, programs, adverts, promos, and jingles. We have the manpower and our equipment all digitized, giving you crystal clear signal and output. Our operator transmitter makes our reach far and wide. Watch NTA from the nooks and crannies of Imo State and beyond. On terrestrial, search NTA on 224.25 MHz. On Star Times, we are on channel 103, and on Facebook and YouTube, it's NTA Live. Visit NTA at Akanchawu Dewan Road over Imo State for all your broadcast needs. NTA Owerri, pride of the heartland. We value your patronage.
It's a sound that comes from the deepest part of the heart to the land. A voice of authority from the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA Owerri, with credible news in Igbo,
NTA Live,
and in English languages.
it's NTA Owerri News at 7.
Educative and entertaining programs.
Thank you for joining us. This is Event Extra, your show, my show, our show.
Thanks for joining us on another interesting episode of Issues of the Moment.
It's good to have you join us again on another episode of our program, Every Day.
Hello and welcome to your number one entertainment program, Let's Connect.
This is 60 Minutes Live on NTA Owerri, the pride of the heartland. Okay, welcome back to 60 Minutes Live. Now being joined by one of us, the publisher and an erudite journalist. I'm talking about the person of Lambert Ugochukwu. Sir, you're welcome to 60 Minutes Live.
My pleasure, sir.
Yes, so as we were discussing before your arrival, we were talking about setting agenda for the governor. And Ugochukwu has been able to tell us all that the governor was able to do to ensure that peace returns to Imo State. And before you walked in, we were talking about the Charter of Equity, which he told us that the governor looked at it, which was formulated by the Elders Council in Imo State. And they decided that it is good that if power goes round, some acrimonies will reduce. So, but to me, there was a question, as I said, his first tenure, he had no baggage like godfathers who would direct him how to appoint people and da 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 da. Do you think that this body may constitute themselves as what do they call the godfathers that will be able to dictate for him the kind of person that will be in his cabinet? Ugochukwu, let me put that to you.
Thank you very much. I personally think that by the name Elders Forum, shouldn't make them godfathers. They are supposed to be, so to speak, apolitical, even though they have political interest. But what I think it should be the norm is that they should be advisors than political fathers, because their formation, comes across the whole zone, the three zones of Olu, Okigwe, and Owerri. So they should be better advisors to the governor, so that we continue, that the state will roll very well economically, and the political inclusion will be there. So I don't think they should be godfathers to the governor. Rather, they should serve as his think tank, people who are supposed to even help him to make the thing work. But I can also say that until now, before, they were not doing what they're supposed to do. If they go to serve as political fathers, that will not go well for Imo State. What every man expects them to do is to be, very cogent, important advisors to the governor, so that every angle of the state will be touched. More especially that now that the governor, this is the last lap. The governor is at the trajectory of moving away. He must leave a legacy. So there is nothing to, it's not about padding or padding it. We all live in Imo State. The governor must leave a legacy. If there are things Ugochukwu has done, we know that. There are things Udenwa did. There are things Hakim did. There are things, what is it? Ihedioha did. So these are things the governor must leave a signature of his signature of his. This is the last lap. It goes beyond rhetorics. It goes beyond this is Godfather. This is. I don't think that is what Imo says. We more people expect that the governor should hit the ground running, because in the first 4 years, everybody knew that the governor was embattled. My own choice of word, embattled by destruction of insecurity. There wasn't much development in the local government areas. We move around. As a media man, I go to Guta, I go to Hajebom, I go to Okigwe. We go around. There are no local roads. So agriculture wasn't moving. Food security wasn't there. The economy is low. There's massive unemployment. For instance, Imo is number 1. By NNBC, there's the rate of unemployment. We are number 1. So government has to do something. These 4 years for me should be tasking. We shouldn't be talking about who is there. Even the charter of equity thing for me has to, it just came up again. For me, it's a distraction. The governor, I advise him, he should see it as a complete distraction. Because there are people who are abandoning it again, talking about charter of equity. We should be talking about how to employ people, how to create employment. Imo does not have regular lights. Our communication system is wrong. There used to be, if you go to step out to places like Aba, the moment you make a phone call, the internet is going, everything is good. But here we have troubles. These are the things, for instance, the House of Assembly is supposed to be doing. They are supposed to invite MTN, invite all this communication, and ask them, why is Imo communication system erratic? You see, politics is all about governance. It's all about government doing those things that the people cannot do for themselves. It's not about patching and playing. We all live here. We know that the last 4 years was very, very challenging to every man. I am an SME. I employ people. The business for me, economy was not well. So anybody telling you he was in Imo, an economy, that as an individual doing business in Imo, it was rosy for him, we'll be telling lies. And I also tell you, that also affected the IGR of the government. So we should advise the governor, help him. No individual can govern. Imo State is a very strong place to govern. Very intelligent, a place populated with intelligent people, very educated people. It's very a place where you come out and say things and you don't mean them. You must say things and do them. The governor was copiously deceived by a lot of people whom he engaged in the last dispensation. He must disengage a lot of people and take people who are forthright.
Okay, Ugochukwu, before I get there, you have your story is moving fast. So let me go back. You raised so many issues in the area of unemployment, job creation, infrastructure. Let me go back to the government man. Employment is an issue. Yep. Then private sector having an enabling environment is part of the thing that will free the state. And what do we expect from the government this time out in the area of business development, employment, creating opportunities for people, possibly opening up the local government, so that with all Ugochukwu has stated here, we need to the state needs to open up for private sector participation, job creation, and all whatnot. So what do we expect from Governor Hope Uzodinma in the area of opening up Imo State for job and every other thing?
Thank you very much. Most importantly, the issue of unemployment in Imo State did not start under the administration of His Excellency. Yes, there are high incidents of unemployment in Imo State. That is quite acceptable. And the government also took steps, that to find ways to solve those problems by creating avenues for our youth to have skills that will enable them earn a living for themselves. Because, previously there's this perception that Imo is a civil service state where everybody who comes out of the university is supposed to be employed by the state. But that shouldn't be the case. We need to build up from the private sector perspectives. And I think the issue of insecurity militated against a lot of development in the last 4 years. And everybody who is honest as an Imo citizen should tune down on the level of animosity and confrontation with the government. Let all hands be on deck. Let us all work together to see how we can salvage our state. The state belongs to all of us. If one person is hurting, all of us are hurting. The governor himself is a man with very big ideas that can generate a whole lot of employment for our people. You know, he has secured the agro-industrial processing zones from the African Development Bank, which is at the point of signing off now. We also have the plans to dredge the Uguta Lake into the Atlantic. These are projects and programs that, if completed, will expand the economic base of the state and create more employment. So hopefully these projects and programs will be focused upon in the second term of the administration, and with that we can open up the space for economic growth and for employment for our people.
So Ojukwu talked about inclusiveness.
Yes.
When we talk about inclusiveness, is being understood from different angles. Yep. Inclusiveness, should he now open up his cabinet to those who are not members of his party, or technocrats who knows the thing apart from being party patronage or what? So let me go to Ojukwu, who muted that idea. What exactly do you mean by inclusiveness, and which are the type of persons that you think that the governor needs to work and perform well?
Thank you very much. The last leg of your question is exactly where I'm thinking towards. Imo is greater than an individual. The moment you emerge as a governor, you become the father of the state. There is no excuse for me. The governor has no excuse to fail if he puts everything in order. Like you said, there are technocrats in Imo State. My brother here, with due respect, he has become the only media person who is telling us what is happening in BIS from the things
enlightenment.
From his enlightenment, you can pick one or two happening in government. There are people in the media everywhere swimming around the government house, but they cannot give you information. But unlike what he does, so there are professionals, people who are trying to block people. Governors should be able to pick people across board. Forget party now. We are through with politics. Look at what the president is doing. He's wooing people from other parties. The other day you saw Buala going to government. The president invited him. Because as we are talking, media-wise, there's a lacuna. Apart from the guy from River State, the fair guy, who is immediate to the governor, there is to the president, there's a lacuna. The governor, the Tinubu seem to understand that. That's why he's bringing Buala closer. So governors should bring in more people. There are people, for instance, let me tell you, when you talk about unemployment, you cannot solve unemployment by training the youths and leaving them there. My idea is that the local government system should work. The governor must conduct the election. He's going out. Let him take the credit. For the past nearly 2 decades, there is no election, no local government election in most states. And for me, that is the bedrock of unemployment. That is the confusion about insecurity. Somebody should be a counselor. If I'm a counselor, I have about 2 or 3 persons behind me who are engaged from 2 families. So for me, you have 1 family, 3 families behind me, 3 families behind me. So if you look at government, everybody's engaged. That is employment on its own. Now, there are people, governor has an agricultural university in his place. Those people who are being churned out from agriculture, what are they doing? There are people who are studying fishery. Do you understand? Let there be an area, for instance, doing cassava plantation. These people doing fishery. You take them to local government and say, if you local government don't Haji, people, you must bring fish. And everybody is doing fish pond. Fish pond on an individual basis are thriving. You get people and get people. But the moment you finish in the university, you go in there and begin to farm. Government should have a loan, soft loan for students, young students who did agronomy or who did agriculture. The moment you say fish, the moment you have, if you can be able to establish 5 fish ponds, we will give you money. When you see it working, there will be inspectors, people who monitor fish will start coming out, food will start coming out. We plant cassava in Ohio. I'm married from a good area. Cassava, very arable land, very fallow. So the easiest way for me is for governor now, in the next 6 months, conduct a local government election. When you conduct a local government election, every local government people will be employed. The city, capital city, will be depopulated. When I started my business, I'd never go to the government house. I was going to a local government. That's where my friends are. For instance, if my brother is local government in Nkwere, I don't need to go to government house. I go to Nkwere. I tell him, look at what you have to do. If Nkwere has 10 fish pond, okay, all the local government have, let us say, 10 fish pond actively going on. Every 3 months you harvest. Every 3 months you have no youth. A lot of youth will be coming in. They'll be craving to be given money. Give them 2 million to start fish pond everywhere you are. You will see that there's a prophet man, a pastor, who is doing it in Bende State. You know that pastor, Kufuri Joseph, one pastor. He's doing it. It's only through fishery that he is making money and feeding his flock. So there's no way you can train somebody in computer science and there's no way he's working. For instance, I have an office. Government cannot say so. Those who you train in computer, come to Ugochukwu, have partnership with Ugochukwu. Government have partnership with me. Give me some another loan. And they come, I train them. They continue practicing with their I pay people. Today I'm going to spend 120,000 in production. A better part of it goes to ICT people. So these people who are being trained, where are they working? Government must have there must be some serious things we are doing. So we cannot say you train somebody there and you're not enabling him. Is he in NTA? Is he working? Is he practicing what he's doing? It's like journalism. The moment you are trained and you cut off to, you know it, you're a mass communicator and you come out. After 2 months, you lose everything because you're not practicing. So these people there must be agricultural development. And again, government must open up in the sense there must be information. Like I told you, he's the only one giving us information. I'm not saying it because he's here. I tap a lot of things we get from government from him. You have a CPS who doesn't move out. You have a commissioner who doesn't go around. I'm saying it in national television so that they know. They confirm it. You don't know the commissioner of information in Imo State is one of the best journalists in Imo State. He's a journalist. The commissioner of information. But they have demarcated the governor. If you bring these ideas like I'm bringing, opposition, the people who say against you, you're against government. It's not true. I do my business here for the past 20 years. It is not my interest that Imo should go down. If Imo goes down, how does my business thrive?
Go up, okay. That's you have that business, a very big sermon. There was this promise, Ugochukwu, you were talking about, yes, the training of the young ones in computer, the Skill Up Imo program, And even within that period, the governor made a promise about how many Imo youths that be employed abroad, and that one had been making rounds and here and there. Now that promise not yet fulfilled. So in that area, coupled with what Ugochukwu has said in the area of getting people to be integrated into
businesses
here and agriculture.
I think what Mr. Ugochukwu has said is Ugochukwu has said is advisory.
Yes,
to the government, and it's also good that we air such advisories, because you don't know the ear that will hear and the mind that will make use of such advice. That's number one. But one other critical thing I've noticed is in Imo State is when government is churning out its policies and programs, the private sector tend to stay on their own. The academia tend to stay on their own, and the government and the politicians tend to stay on their own. There are frequently no meeting points, and who will bear the cat becomes the mantra. But you see also what the government has tried to do to bring every sector together. Like he suggested, because I take whatever he said as a suggestion. We've trained these youths, where is the follow-up, where are they heading to? It's also incumbent upon the private sector to key into these things and offload some of these youths into their businesses, because government cannot, because he talks about this inclusion. So inclusion cannot be a one-way street from the government alone. It can also be a two-way street, everybody working symbiotically to lift each other. So I think in that context, it's also incumbent upon our people to also lift the government while the government also hold their hands. In terms of, he also mentioned, another very important area, which is agric at the local level, which is properly handled, will be the biggest, employment of labor in the state. And the governor is also mindful of this. The government is also mindful of this. That's why, under the office of the Chief Economic Advisor to the Imo State government, we established what was a program called One Kindred, One Business Initiative, or KOBI. And I think they've come here to also discuss this with you, where the idea is to get kindreds, think out a business they want to do and bring it to the notice of the government, and the government will, provide financial impetus, advisory impetus to also allow such businesses to grow for the benefit of the kindreds and the communities. And it's also something, our people should take advantage of, and that program is also ongoing, And you've also made mention in the area of agriculture. You talked about livestock, and I think that's the program that the government of Imo State is working together with the African Development Bank in order to create an agro-industrial processing zone where our livestock and other agri products can be processed into finished products for distribution domestically, nationally, and internationally. And I think that program is on the signing off stage for the inflow of the funding. So basically, the thing is that let us work together. Let this be a new beginning for the state. Like he said, the state belongs to all of us. No individual owns the state. And the personality of the governor, if you know him as a private person, is a person who cherished friendship. He cherished relationship. He's God-fearing. And if we can all come together and partner and work together, the sky will be the limit for our state.
Yes, you see, unconsciously we delved into agric, and agriculture is the main thing. I remember, yes, Ministry of Agric, especially there, I think they divided the livestock part of the ministry in Imo State. To me, with what I observed, they did a little bit, they did well, because they got approval for this, what they call the mass vaccination of all the livestock, because so that they wouldn't die of I think there was something they call anthrax or so, and the birds. So that within the Christmas season, that ministry really contributed in reducing the price of protein in Imo State. So if such things can be replicated, like other ministries, like Ministry of Works did well, at least we can see some jobs that Ministry of Works, even health. Especially the NHIS issue that possibly people got free treatment and go. So, but other ministries should follow suit. But again, let's go back to the main thing again as well. What our time stayed there. So, Ugochukwu, he has talked about that if government is making policies, the academia stays aloof, the business people stays aloof. Can something like a business summit or an economic summit in Imo create this link between the government policy, the academia, and the business community in Imo State, so that even foreign investment can be attracted to Imo State? Do we see that as a window?
Thank you very much, Samadu. Let me tell you also, before I go to that one, I want to take the other aspect of agriculture. The very program is the government has introduced. Somebody has to monitor it. One thing about government is bringing ideas. Even if you bring, but you can see what is happening in the humanitarian ministry at the federal level. When you bring out a program that is very, no matter how beautiful it is, it has to be monitored. That is why we're entrepreneurs. From when I live here and I go to my office, I monitor my newspaper from beginning to end. I will leave about 10 today from my office. If not, the paper will not hit the stand. If not, this crop of people we have now, grammatically and otherwise, I must monitor, make sure that everything is well made. There must be monitoring. So my emphasis is on local government election. I don't care how it is done. I don't care so far as it's governor. This governor is going away. This governor is going away. Let him put a very credible local government system that will carry his integrity up. Let him do it across board. If somebody from Apuga is popular in Onimo, Let him win local government. What does the governor lose? Let there be election. Then he will use these people to monitor the agriculture something is doing. You can't take money and put it in the hand of people without the money. The governor can't monitor local government issues from the government house. It's not possible. It's not possible. So there must be local government election. It has a lot of, divergent varies of advantages, change value of advantage. So that is what I'm saying. Then on the other side, you also talked about sports. Before I answer your question, sport, we used to have grassroots, grasshoppers. The grasshoppers of Imo State were the best. What has happened to them?
Even the football team.
So let government go back to local government and begin to train the children, do all those school sports and things, discover grasshoppers people and send them abroad. The governor talked about it in December when he was campaigning. There are people who come to the stadium to look for, young men.
Talents.
The talents. They come to Imo, they don't see anything. I'm telling you, I'm giving you information. So let there be grasshopper team. Handball should be rejigged or reinvented, so that is an aspect of employment. Now, talking about the question we talk about the summit, the buck stops on the table of the governor. With due respect, we said that last dispensation was very much marred by insecurity. Let us pray and hope that insecurity is now, tapering out. The governor must do a little sitting down and staying more in the state to see one or two things himself. I suggest that the governor go around, Samadu, let the governor move around in the state. Let him go to Uguta, Amakuredere. There were a lot of destruction, families were destroyed, homes were destroyed, markets were burned. Let him go to Uguta, Okigwe. Let him go to Olo, where you have, what is that village, Rosson. Let him go around himself and assess the level of damage and give hope back to the people. He can say, my people will build one of two. There are these people, how many are there? Who are there? Let some homes, let some markets be renovated. This government has been alienated in the last 4 years from the people. I can tell you that. Nobody did it but the people in government.
Okay, yes, Ojukwu, yes.
So now, finally, the summit thing, government must bring a program of the summit. I cannot get up and begin to go to government house and say I want to do summit. Government they know credible organizations.
And they have an economic advisor.
Thank you, and they have an economic advisor. What is he doing? Just like I've told you now, the Enlightenment, if you open your media channel, is buzzing. But somebody who is consciously supposed to do it is not doing it. This one is an Enlightenment, an appendage. He's the one giving you the information.
The public Enlightenment section?
Yes, and somebody is sitting down, they are occupying space and creating confusion. If you are coming, he feels you want to be commissioner. For 1 million naira, I won't be commissioner because I'm very much busy. So people should open up and allow this governor to work. This hope was them. We journalists, the vehicle we are using in the New was given to us, the current vehicle we have.
And he promised another one last
Thank you. Now, why has he become a governor and he has become so strange? Do you understand?
Yes. So, as at you walk, Ojukwu has hammered so much so on the local government election and its dividends, but we may not, since I said it, the time is almost up. Let us go back to the inauguration on Monday. Who have been expected to be at the stadium that day, and what do the Imo people, expect directly from the governor, and what do you think governor will say to win the heart of the people?
We're expecting you to be there.
Okay.
We're expecting Elder Lambert to be there. We're expecting Imo people to be there. We expect all the lovers of democracy to be there. We expect colleagues of the governor to be there. We expect our women folk. We expect musicians. It's going to be a very colorful occasion, and it will go well. And that will usher a new beginning for our people. Development, inclusion, as he said, working together, local government elections, all these things that are at the heart of Imo people will be delivered in the second term. So,
Ojukwu, your final word. On Monday, the governor will be given a baton for a second tenure. What do you think will be the first thing that he should do to attract the will in the heart of Imo people?
I do not know. I do not personally think that we should, over-ceremonize this thing. Governor is an old governor. He's just getting into the second term. So for me, there shouldn't be too much hoopla or noise-making about this thing, because the governor has a challenge. Imo should be in pain. People were killed in the last dispensation.
Let me help you there.
No,
I just want to help you because you are touching on a point that we've already discussed.
No, don't worry.
Around the ceremony.
And then you can now, the ceremony for me, I know, because the ceremony, the commission
Low key.
No, I know it's low key. But what I'm saying is this. I know it's low key. But I'm saying, for instance, talking about inclusion. I'm talking about growing wealth. In the final days, all these years, by now, every newspaper in Imo State is supposed to have one copy of advert from this government. That is the only way government can help you for, every day you open your email, you see the barrages, like his information is in my email. I don't see him. I've never seen him for the past 3 years.
So thank God to 60%.
So now you see that the thing, they bring these things. Now that it's every opportunity government has, let them grow the media. The media employers. You are supposed to have an advert, you.
Oh, yeah?
Everybody's supposed to have ABC, everybody got, you know what I mean? That is inclusiveness.
Yes.
When somebody is involved, directly or indirectly, I don't need to see the governor. I need to see what the governor is doing that is interested in my business, because I am paying him more people.
Yes, and through the media, the people will
Thank
know.
you. If everybody's clapping hand, all this suspicion will stop.
Yes, Ojukwu, you have said it all, because as I said at the beginning with my intro, the governor did some good jobs in his first tenure, despite the challenges of insecurity and COVID. But unfortunately,
Good road, this were underreported.
They were underreported. The media angle of the governor possibly it did not really project the good job he did. We pray that this dispensation will have something else. So, gentlemen, I have to thank you. We hope that we will be coming again to set an agenda for the governor.
Let's review what the governor. Let's review the process. The process after the ceremony.
And the speech. We now bring his speech.
Bring distinguished.
Yes.
He's a prince.
Yeah, yes, we know, because yes, like as you said,
one of the best characters in the world.
During those days, it was through him that, even it's still through him that we're able to know what government was doing. We relied on the public enlightenment platform to be able to know what was happening.
Okay.
Because so at least that is part of it. So, gentlemen, Lambert Ojukwu Eda, this point, newspapers, the publisher and the editor. Thank you for being our guest today.
It's always my pleasure, sir.
The prince is Ugochukwu, public enlightenment expert, the man through whose back or window that people were able to know that Hope Uzodimma was doing some job, or is doing some job, or may do some job. Yeah, thank you for coming to 60 Minutes Live.
Thank you so much.
So, viewers, as we wish the governor well for his second term, we, our people, should be able to do what is right, what we can do to assist the government and make Imo safe and good, because the survival or the success of every government is for the good of the people. So, but again, before we call it a day, the cultural festival of Emume Obazu in the local government area of Imo State, a festival which comes up after every 3 years, was hosted this December. Its objective is to unite the people, bring them together to think and have a think tank on how to unify their community and provide infrastructure. Dan Ugochukwu was there for 60 Minutes Live. Let us see what Emume Obazu Festival, Cultural Festival, was all about and what it has for us for the next 3 years.
Obazu in the local government area of Imo State. Emume Aso Festival is a traditional cultural festival that is celebrated every 3 years since the year 1975. The festival is an act of God. It's like what Passover is to the Israelite people of God. That is how Emume Aso is to Obazu Ugeri people. God told his people to observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord their God. So, as to remember the day God brought them out of Egypt, all the days of their life. Deuteronomy 16, 1-3. President General,
Nothing less than 500 youths in all bars, primary schools in all bars. Maviko will release
as a people celebrate Jehovah Nissi, who delivers them from the bondage of darkness, wickedness, and idolatry. The season of Emume Azu starts with a wholesome congregational worship, a non-denominational service to God Almighty. Azu people consider God as the source of their strength. It is a time of homecoming of Azu's sons and daughters to exchange love, oneness among the people. The face of Emume Azu is an atmosphere charged with peace and harmony, an ambience aglow with happiness, contentment, and composure. Disputes, quarrel, and burial announcements of deaths are suspended in this period. Addressing the journalists, the President General of Obazu Town Union of Obazu Community, Chief Engineer Ian Abekume, expressed optimism on the peaceful celebration of the festival and encourages his people to live in harmony. The sole administrator of Ugochukwu local government area, Honorable Chinasa Opara, thank God for the success of the festival. Also speaking, the mayor of Obazu Igwe, Chief Ugochukwu Asinobi, and others expressed their joy on the peaceful celebration of Emume Azu Day. From Ugochukwu, 60 Minutes Live.